Hey guys, Beth Butati here, and as you can see, there has been, maybe you can't even tell, things are a little bit messier than they were. Been going through clothes again, so there's just clothes everywhere, but, I've been really busy as of late, and that's why I haven't been on, but I did want to get on real quick because I promised this video a while back, and I still haven't done it, and I feel like a total jerk. So this is a video about my venoms. What the hell are venoms, right? Venoms are these. And I hate holding them out like that because then they look like they line up with these, and they really don't. They are their own separate piercing. Okay, so venoms. Why are venoms different than a regular tongue piercing? What should you expect? What is the process like of getting them? And then what is the process like of healing them? Okay, first of all, venoms are very different from regular tongue piercings and the fact that they go through the muscle of your tongue instead of through the center. Typically, a piercing in your tongue bypasses going through muscle tissue, and it also easily avoids veins. Anytime a piercer says that you can't get pierced in a certain spot on your tongue, it's because of a vein or because he's a lying jerk, but I digress on that one. Let's not go there. Let's assume you're going to a legit piercer who knows how to do tongues and isn't just being stupid. If he says, oh, I can't put a piercing in this place, it's because of a vein, he should offer to do it higher, lower, left, right, whatever. So that is one thing that is very dangerous with venoms. You want to make sure you're getting it done by someone that you trust to not screw it up, like you should with anything that you're letting someone jab needles through your body, because if you look at the bottom of the tongue, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see because of eyesight, there are veins that run up the center of the muscles of the tongue. They are like bright purple. You can kind of see it. Anyways, you don't want to hit those when you're getting your tongue pierced, or you're going to seriously bleed. I honestly don't know what would happen if you hit one of those veins, because the point is to not hit them, because I imagine that could require hospitalization. That's like a very serious vein to hit. I don't know how quickly it would coagulate, just because all the vessels in your tongue are so close to the skin, and it's a moist place, so I'm not sure. Not to mention, you'd probably get really infected. I don't know. So just make sure anytime you're getting any needle shoved through your body, it's by somebody you trust. Anyways, so it's different in the fact that it goes through the muscles of the tongue rather than in between the muscles. If you're worried about this, if speech is important to you, get them in the middle. Get two in the middle. Like that. I hope my hands are clean. Probably not. Yes, they are. Just wash them. Okay. So get them and that instead of side by side, because I'll tell you. We'll just go into my experience story. When I got mine done, I was working at Blockbuster at the time. I was an assistant store manager. That was my corporate job, so I couldn't have any piercings that were visible. I had this, and magically gone. I didn't have these. These were my present to myself when I quit Blockbuster. And I had nostrils pierced for a while, but I took them out because I had to keep taking them out at work, and they get really irritated. But I wanted these. I wanted my tongue pierced. I just decided it one day. I was just like, I want to get my tongue pierced, so I did. I don't know. It was just completely random. So I got my tongue pierced, and I decided to get venoms. I didn't want something that everybody already had. Venoms are fairly popular, but I had never seen them in my area. So I was like, I'm going to get that done. And everywhere I go, people were like, oh my god, what is in your tongue? So apparently it is fairly rare around here. But I went on my lunch break at work and got my venoms done on Halloween 2 or 3 years ago. 3 years ago. It had to have been 3 years ago. It was before I started dating John. And that was my Halloween present to myself. I could not talk well for a while because it goes through the muscles of your tongue, so you have to learn how to talk again, essentially. You won't be able to say... I couldn't say Blockbuster. There were all kinds of letters in there I couldn't say. It was just kind of like for a while there. My boss was not very pleased about that. He was pretty pissed off. As far as healing goes, you heal it just like a regular tongue piercing. It's going to be swollen in the morning. It's in your best interest to wake up and immediately just pop a piece of ice in your mouth while you go and wash your face, go to the bathroom, whatever you do in the morning. And then by the time that ice cube has melted, you might want to pop in another one, depending on how bad your swelling is. Actually, before you pop ice in your mouth, you're going to want to pop a couple of ibuprofen if you take that kind of stuff. If you don't, that's fine. Um, but ibuprofen, keeping on ibuprofen will definitely help the inflammation of a tongue piercing as well as icing it. You don't want to constantly ice it because it's just not good for the tissue to be cold for prolonged periods of time. But to help your swelling go down some, it's a good idea to pop an ice cube in your mouth in the morning when your swelling is going to be very, very bad. Because you're going to notice that when you wake up in the morning, your tongue is going to be very, very swollen. The actual piercing process wasn't that bad. Getting it pierced is more uncomfortable than anything else. It's kind of awkward. It takes a minute to line them up properly because you want them to be symmetrical, just like with snake bites. And so mine was a little extra difficult. You can't see it, but I have a big scar on my tongue. When I was a kid, I bit off a piece of my tongue and busted my lip. That's what that scar is there. No, I didn't have a lip piercing ripped out or anything gnarly like that. So that kind of threw the piercer for a loop because he didn't notice it at first. He was so busy watching the veins to make sure he wasn't going to hit a vein. He's like looking and looking, and then he goes to pierce, and he's like, "Where did that bump come from?" And I was like, "Oh God." It was really funny though. Which I would trust that boy to pierce anything. So that is definitely not saying anything bad about him. But yeah, it was mostly, it took a while to line things up, and then it was just uncomfortable. Clamped my tongue, did one of them, put the jewelry in. I can't remember. I think he pierced both and then put the jewelry in both, or he did each one completely, but I don't remember. It wasn't that painful. It's just really uncomfortable, and you're having a needle shoved through your tongue is just a weird feeling, man. It's not terribly painful. It's not the worst piercing I've ever gotten. Nothing silly like that. Dog's getting upset. But yeah, it wasn't bad. Healing it sucked. That's the only thing that if you're going to get your tongue pierced more than once, do it all at once so you don't have to go through healing it twice because it is a pain in the ass, and I don't think I would ever do it again. That said, I am very glad that I did do it once. It was definitely worth it to have the piercings that I have. That said, if I screw up somehow and end up losing one, that's my own fault. I won't do it again. So yeah, healing it, take ibuprofen. If you take medicines, take ibuprofen, not Tylenol. We're not worried about pain. Suck it up and deal with it. You're worried about inflammation. You want to keep the inflammation down. You're going to start off with really big barbells in, and then as the swelling goes down, your piercer will switch them out for smaller ones until you have something in that you can talk with and you're not biting. That's another thing. You gotta be careful that you don't bite your piercing. Like the first or second or third time you eat, you're gonna catch yourself chomping down on your tongue, and it's gonna hurt real bad, and you're gonna feel real stupid. Everybody does it the first few times they eat, and you learn. You learn real fast because it hurts really bad. Not to mention you can crack your teeth that way. You really can crack your teeth from biting a barbell, so you really need to pay attention to these types of things. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad piercing to get. Healing sucks through the muscle of your tongue. You can't talk for a while. It's going to be real swole for about 2-3 weeks. But then it's fine. Like, you just wake up one day and it's fine. It just suddenly isn't all swole. Like, you'll notice it. One morning you'll just wake up and it won't be swollen. And it'll be the first morning that it happens. And you'll be like, okay, cool. And then from there on out, you'll be fine. Long-term effects. I have noticed a difference in my speech. I talk a little bit different. I feel like sometimes it makes me drool more. Like, not literally, like, falling out of my mouth drool, but, like, it makes me salivate more. That would be the more appropriate word. And also, spicy foods. I can't handle spicy foods as well. I have my days where I'm a total wimp on spicy food, where, like, Indian food, scale of 1 to 6, I'm like, dude, give me a 1. Keep it real American. But yeah, now that I have this done, I can't get more than like a 2.5, 3 at the most. Sometimes Don Pablo's salsa is spicy to me, and then other days it's fine. I don't know what it is. It's just one of those things that you are, altering your taste buds, because wherever your barbell is, there's a big chunk of your taste buds missing. Your things are gonna taste a little different. I haven't noticed anything taste drastically different. Not anything terrifying. But yeah, I do find myself more sensitive to spicy foods. So that's about it. This is a really long video. I try to not do this, but I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to talk to you guys about something as serious as a piercing, I feel like I should definitely talk to you. Oh, I didn't even talk to you about Aftercare. which your piercer is going to give you aftercare, but seriously, easiest aftercare ever. Your mouth is very good about cleaning itself. You're just going to use a sea salt rinse. Keep it real simple. Don't over agitate it. Don't twist your barbells. Leave your barbells alone. You're going to take salt water. And I don't want to hear that it tastes bad. It's not that bad. Take sea salt. You're going to mix it down. Your piercer will show you like how much to mix down. Or get H2O and you can spray straight on in the holes. Make sure you're getting the underside too though. The best thing you can do is put sea salt in your mouth, swish it around real good, and just let it sit. Make sure it's getting underneath of your tongue and just let it sit. That's the only time I would say maybe play with your jewelry just a little, like press your tongue to the roof of your mouth so that your barbells move a little, just enough to let the sea salt get in there and kind of work everything out. But it's really easy to take care of. An alcohol-free mouthwash for like the first maybe 3 days, 3 to 5 to 7 at the most days. Alcohol-free mouthwash, I recommend Biotine because it doesn't taste disgusting. It kind of has a sweet taste, and it definitely keeps things clean. Just regularly brushing your teeth, and every time you eat for the first like week, up to 2, 3, even a month, depending on how slow you heal. Making sure every time you eat, you're rinsing it out with sea salt. And in lieu of sea salt, alcohol-free mouthwash. Yeah, those 2 things are your best friend. You're going to want to do it in the morning when you first wake up. You're going to want to do it every time you eat, and you're going to do it before you go to bed. Yeah, don't smoke right after you get it done, or you're going to start bleeding again from suction, and it's just really bad to put carcinogens into open wounds. Keep sex fluids out of your mouth. You know what I mean? That's a really bad idea, because they got bacteria going on, and you're going to put that bacteria all up in your open wound, and then it's going to sit down in there and get real nasty. So just be smart about it. Don't try to do anything with it until it's healed, because I know a lot of people get that done because of oral sex, and I don't necessarily want to talk about this on my channel because I don't know how young some of you guys are, but I'm just going to say avoid that while it's a fresh piercing. If it hurts to do it, you're doing it wrong. It shouldn't hurt your mouth. If it still hurts your mouth, you're doing it way too soon. Avoid alcohol, like getting drunk. Avoid beer, yeast, stuff like that. That's going to infect it. Just take it easy. Keep it clean. And, I mean, more specifically than that, just ask in the down bar below, because this is already 13 minutes long, and I feel like that's pretty much everything, just really disorganized and kind of all over the place, so I do apologize for that. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hopefully this has been helpful. I know it was kind of disorganized. I should have, like, planned this out, but I was just sitting here, and I was like, alright, let's talk about venoms. Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.